I'll do a quick review of Tuesday evening's Facebook Live on my business page, Stampin' Scrap with Mary Knabe. Hi, Karen. Anybody who's out there, be sure you comment. And I love comments throughout the video. You're welcome to ask questions. Hearts and thumbs ups are always something that make me happy as well. So the focus of Tuesday evening's Facebook Live, in case you missed it and want to go back and look at that, I'll give you a heads up. The focus was on using both sides of the same sheet of designer series paper. And oftentimes, you know, I love designer series paper. Oftentimes it's difficult for me to choose, do I want to use this side or do I want to use the other? So these were some cards I showed and some layouts that you can use to showcase both sides of the designer series paper. So here is one, and there's another. Okay, on these three, the card bases have been made with designer series paper instead of cardstock. Here's a couple more layouts, or another layout, a couple more cards. Okay. Showing both sides of this designer series paper. This too comes from a sheet of designer series paper. All these patterns and prints and images are from the Country Club designer series paper. Okay, so that's another way to showcase both sides. And you can leave it black and white, or you can add some color with our watercolor pencils or markers or anything you want. And here's a female version of that card as well, featuring both sides of one DSP. And then here was one more card layout. Okay, and I kind of like these mini cards for a change. You don't have quite as much pressure to write a lot. Okay, so if you missed those, be sure to go back and look at the video on Stampin' Scrap with Mary Knabe, my business page. So welcome to everybody who is on and watching today. I am Mary Knabe of Stampin' Peace in Westerville, Ohio. I'm in my Stampin' Peace studio today and all day, and most days now, since I have decided to work my Stampin' Up! Business full time now. So I'm spending lots of time down here in my newly finished basement, and it's going very well, and I'm excited about this change and this new venture. This is the card I'm going to be showing you how to make today. It's called a double easel card. I'm going to show it to you this way so you can see what it looks like from the side. Okay. And then you can still write a message on the inside as well. And it folds up nicely so that you can stick it in a standard size envelope. Okay, but it's called the double easel card, and that's what we're going to learn to make today. If you would be so kind as to share, I would appreciate it very much. And if you are in if you can comment throughout, that is a wonderful thing also. You're welcome to ask questions, etc. But when you make a double easel card like this, you're going to actually have two card bases, okay? One is the regular card base and the other is your easel. So for the first one, the regular card base, and I'm just going to change up the colors and the prints for this sample card. Okay, so I switched out the pretty peacock for Bermuda Bay, and I changed to a different print from the Lily Pad series. Okay, oh, I should tell you that today I'm using the lovely Lily Pad stamp set, the Lily Pad dies, and also the Lily Impressions Designer Series paper. These are all products that you can get free with a qualifying purchase from our celebration brochure. And this goes through March 31st, okay? In addition to that, I'll be showing you the So Sentimental stamp set and the Stitch So Sweetly dies that coordinate with it, which I have come to really, really love. Okay, so your first card base, you need a piece of cardstock that measures 4 1/4 by 11 inches. Okay, 4 1/4 by 11 inches, so that's half of a sheet of cardstock. And you want to burnish that fold real well, make a nice strong crease. The second piece is going to be your easel, and this measures 4 inches by 10 1/4 inch. I've already cut it to that size, but now I need to score it. And I'm going to score it at 2.5 inches and 5 inches. Okay, and this is your easel. So it is a little bit smaller, and I'll show you the reason why. First of all, you want to go over those creases with your bone folder, those score lines, and you're actually going to fold each of them in the opposite direction, okay? So this is what you have, okay? Kind of like a accordion fold, okay? Now when you, oops, I did not, let me double check that. Oh, I did not cut it to the right size. I was supposed to cut off 3/4 of an inch. So now, let me double check, yes. Now it is 4 inches by 10 1/4. So I just trimmed off 3/4 of an inch from that piece of cardstock. So it's 10 1/4 inches long by 4 inches wide. I scored it at 2.5 and 5. Now when I fold it over like this, it's not going to, the edges are not going to meet. That's okay, we want it that way. Okay, now I'm going to put this easel card, the easel onto the card base. This is how it's going to go on, okay? Can you see it from this direction? The easiest way to put this onto the card base and to make sure you're adhering the correct side is to close it up with the small portions of cardstock on the top. So the smaller half, the smaller piece will be on the top. So you'll have that bottom edge sticking out, okay? This side measures 4 inches by 5 1/4. So you know that's a standard size layer for our card base. You're going to adhere it just like that. And now you have the base of your easel card. Okay, does everybody get that? Any questions about that? Okay, so we started with this piece of cardstock, 4 1/4 by 11 inches, scored in half at 5.5 inches. Okay, then we had another piece of cardstock that measures 10 1/4 inches by 4 inches. And I scored it at 2.5 and at 5. I did an accordion fold and adhered it to the card base. So that's where we are now. Next, you'll need some designer series paper. I'm going to push that sample out of the way and we'll take another look at it later. So you're going to cut 3 pieces of designer series paper. Let's see if make sure I'm in the frame here. Okay, you're going to need 3 pieces of designer series paper, and they're all 3 3/4 inches wide. So I'm going to cut that first. Then I'm going to cut, trying to make sure that the trimmer is in the frame. Okay, So then I'm going to cut this at 5 inches. So I have one piece that measures 3 3/4 by 5. And then the next one, I'm going to cut it 2 1/4 inch. So that's 3 3/4 by 2 1/4. And I'm going to do the same thing. Repeat that last measurement. Whoops. So another piece that will be 3 3/4 by 2 1/4 inch. Okay. Everybody with me? I'm sure you are. Okay. The next step is to adhere these to my easel. Be sure to stick around for the challenge. I'll be making a challenge announcement at the end. Again, this is called a double easel card. It's one of those fun folds that's very easy to do, but it really does give you a wow effect. When I'm doing something like this too with designer series paper that I'm cutting several pieces from a long strip, I like to do it so adhere them so that they match up. So it looks like, still looks like one continuous piece. I don't think it really matters that much on this card, but sometimes it does on some of the different layouts. Okay, so this is what I have so far for my easel card. Okay, I will go ahead and put a piece of Whisper White cardstock inside the main card base. It measures 5 1/4 by 4 inches, because then I'll still have something to write on before I nail it. Okay. Now, I went ahead and took the liberty of stamping and die cutting all these different pieces to decorate my easel card. My sister Joan is here with me, and she is actually using the Big Shot. She's doing some work for me now, and she is doing lots of Big Shot work for me this afternoon. So with my Big Shot preoccupied, I went ahead and did these earlier. What I want to tell you about this is I went ahead and stamped directly on designer series paper from that Lily Impressions designer series paper pack. Okay. So that's a fun thing to do with designer series paper, especially these that kind of come across as just being a solid when they're really not. Like in this one, you can actually see what looks like brush strokes and even the canvas, the texture of a painting canvas. But I just stamped directly on there and then used my lily pad dies to cut everything out. On this greeting here, I wanted to show you that this is from the So Sentimental stamp set, and it has a wonderful set of dies that go with it. Many of mine are upstairs with Joan because that's what she's die cutting for me. I've got a Super Saturday event coming up on the 29th for team members. But this is what all the die pieces look like. Okay, so there's lots of the scalloped rectangles, but then there's 4 other different shapes that can coordinate with many of the sentiments in here. But since I cut this one out previously, obviously, for my sample, but since Joan's using that upstairs, I decided I could still use the stamp set, and I'm going to use Sending Healing Hugs. Good for so many kinds of healing, right? And then I can punch those out, the sentiment out with punches. So I think I'll go ahead and stamp this in, I'm going to stamp it in the Bermuda Bay. comment watching so I know who's with me. You're free to ask questions or add comments as you wish. Of course, thumbs up and hearts are always appreciated as well. And sharing is actually one of the greatest compliments I could receive. That tells me that you like what you see on this Facebook group. So if you're inclined to share before, during, or after the live, I would appreciate it very much. I do get a lot of new viewers and customers from all of you sharing, so know that it does help and I do appreciate it. Okay, so there's sending healing hugs. I'm using the 2-inch circle punch. Just like that. And then to tone down that white, I'm actually going to layer it with the Starburst punch. And I'm trying to think. I think I'm going to try this one. Maybe I should try the Bermuda Bay color. Grab that. Oh, if I can find it here. Here we go. There's another print. Remind me at the end to pull out my sampler. I usually show you all of the prints in the designer series paper before I get started. I didn't do that today. I don't know why. Okay. So what I like to do next is, now that I have all these pieces and parts stamped and cut out, next I'd like to decide how I'm going to lay everything out. So on here, basically I just held this down and laid all my pieces and parts in place. I moved some around and changed things up a bit, and when I had it arranged the way I wanted, I put it on with adhesive. So I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I was thinking about putting this here so it stands up on that easel, okay? But I'm not 100% sure that's what I want to do. I also thought I might like to have this stand up, but I've got two kind of big things here. Oh, having trouble picking that up. This one might end up being a lot like the other. I kind of like the same arrangement I had on the first one. I think that's what I'm going with. Okay, so I'm going to start by adhering my sentiment. How many of you have the lily pad products from Celebration? If you do, that means you earned them free with qualifying orders. And you know we all love free. Okay. And then I'm going to put this one on right about there, I think. I put all of my pieces on with dimensionals, but you can decide if you want them to lay flat or if you like them popped up. Pat, honestly, I did not think I was going to like the paper. I wasn't 100% sure I was going to like the lily pads at all, to be honest. But the more I've worked with all three of those products, the more I love them. And the artwork in the paper is kind of, what do I want to say, impressionistic, impression-like. Somebody who's artsy, like Marty, you would know the term. which I like a lot. And the story behind that is that one of the Stampin' Up! Product designers, artist designers, actually toured some museums and then did some painting of her own, and then various ones were photographed and then chosen to be part of this designer series paper pack. So I'd love to hear how that all came to be. I think I'll put this one right here. Okay, a friendly reminder, celebration is going on through March 31st. I'll also let you know that last year I hosted, after celebration was over in the month of April, I hosted what I called a celebration, or SAB, celebration for both team and customers who met certain goals. If you're a customer, you can be a part of that celebration by hosting a party or a private class, by purchasing at least $150 in product, January through the end of March, okay? And, or you can be a part of that event by joining my team. If you are a team member, on our team page, I believe I've already outlined the requirements for you to get an invitation to that special event. Now, it will be a virtual event. Last year I set up a private Facebook group, and then I held a Facebook Live. Prior to, yes, Claude Monet, Jean-Claude Monet, that's exactly what I was trying to think of, Marty, thank you. And I love Monet works. So when I really got to take a good look at this designer series paper, that's what it reminded me of. Thank you, Marty. I knew you would know. But anyways, it is being held in April. I can't remember the date. It's middle of April. Can't remember off the top of my head. I think it's a Wednesday or Thursday, middle of the month. And before then, you will receive a packet of goodies from me. So all kinds of make and takes, and some freebies throughout there. I also gave prizes away during the live event, which was a lot of fun. And I have to say, it was my, personally, #1 favorite event of the entire year. And it was just a tremendous amount of fun, and it was a great way to show my appreciation to my team and customers for all they did during the celebration period. Okay, so keep that in mind as you are looking at new products and thinking about what you would like to purchase, or if you would like to earn some free products by hosting a class or private party, or if you want to take advantage of the very best deal Stampin' Up! Has, and that is to join my team. So here's that Easel card. Okay, what do you think? I hope you're going to tell me that you like this double Easel card. Here was the sample. Very easy to make. Okay, very easy to make with the instructions and the dimensions given to you. So the challenge for this month, and it is February 20th, I will run the challenge through the end of the month. So that is February 29th. You get an extra day this month because it is leap year. So the challenge is to make your own double Easel card. Oops, I heard a bang upstairs. I'm not sure what happened. But anyways, sorry, lost my train of thought. But anyways, the challenge is starting today through February 29th to make your own double Easel card following my instructions in this demonstration and the dimensions I've given you. You can use any Stampin' Up! Cardstock and any Stampin' Up! Designer Series paper. It can be for any occasion. You can use punches and other products, dies, stamp sets, whatever you like. You can add embellishments, ribbon, trim, rhinestones, pearls, buttons, whatever. And you have to take a photograph of it and try to photograph it maybe at an angle in such a way that we can see all parts of it. Okay. And then post that to this, post the photo to the comments on this post, or the one where I announce it to everybody who's not watching. And then your name will be entered into a drawing for a stamp set this month. Who would like to win a stamp set, a free stamp set? Okay, I'm going to say a stamp set up to a $30 value. So the opportunity to get a really fun product that maybe has been on your wish list simply by participating in this fun challenge. And this is something anybody can do. If you rewatch the live video and write down the dimensions for the double easel card and follow along, there is no doubt that you all can make this. Anybody of any experience level can make this. So I hope all of those of you who are watching live will all participate. And I hope those of you who watch on the replay will also participate in this challenge, which goes through the end of February 29th. And on March 1st, I'll announce the winner. And that person will get to choose a free stamp set up to a $30 value. In the meantime, if I can help you place an order, or if you'd like to do it online, I ask that you please use my host code. If you are interested in earning free products through hosting a Stampin' Up! Party, a private class, or even a virtual class or virtual party, please let me know, and I would love to help you earn free products. Once again, our joining promotion for celebration is you choose $125 worth of product and pay just $99 plus tax. In addition to that, you'll also get to choose a free stamp set. In addition to the other $125 of product you've already chosen, you'll get another free stamp set. You'll get this cute little paper trimmer. And you will also get a sample pack of 6x6 Designer Series paper. You get a few from various papers throughout our mini catalog and celebration brochure. Okay, so great deal. You get this mini trimmer, you get the paper sampler, you get a free stamp set of your choice, plus $125 of free product that you choose, all for $99 plus tax, so roughly $107. And it's free shipping on that starter kit. It truly is the very best deal, and I would love you to be a part of my Stampin' Up! Family. My team is called the Merry Stampers, and we are all about sharing our creative ideas. We are all about sharing creative tips and business tips, projects, and we love to stamp together. We would love to have you be a part of this wonderful community. Have a great day. Thanks for sharing part of your Thursday afternoon with me, and I look forward to being back with you on Sunday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on my business page, Stamp and Scrap with Mary Knabe. Have a good day.